What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about how to set your e-collar up to tone so that you can work on tone recall. When you first purchase your e-collar, the tone button is actually going to be set on the vibrate setting. So that's what you want to change first. And how you do that, you want to make sure that it's set to 0 and you control that through your dial. Set your dial to 0. You are going to use the L button, which is your on-off and light button, as well as the T button on the side. So what you want to do is push down both of those buttons at the same time, and you'll hear this beep. So I'll do that now on 0. So we beeped. Now turn it up to a 1 or a 2 just so that it's not on 0. And let's see. There we go. Now we're on tone, okay? So the button that you want to push for your tone is the T button on the side. There's no stim associated with that. It is just going to be the tone. Okay, so that is how you set your e-collar from vibrate to tone mode. Now that your e-collar is set on tone, what I like to do is teach my dog that that tone, that beep, is a recall. So I live on a farm, and the reason that I'm teaching this to my dogs is because sometimes when I recall them, they can't hear me. They're not within an earshot of where I am. And these mini educators work up to a half mile away. So today I'm working with my dog Atlas to teach him that if he hears that tone, that means I need him to come back. All 3 of my dogs are trained on your regular e-collar recall, which means if they hear the word come and they feel a little stim, that means that they have to recall back to me. But again, I want to make sure that if my dog is really far away, that tone will actually be the reminder and the cue to come and recall back to the house. So just like teaching regular e-collar recall, you want to make sure that you start with a long leash on first so that you have that directional guidance if your dog needs it. Then once you feel comfortable with that, you can take that long leash off and officially practice off leash. So now I'm going to show you a little bit of today's session and just kind of explain how tone recall works. So what I'm doing here is using the tone button when I say his name.
Atlas, yes.
By saying his name when he hears the tone, that gets his attention to look at me.
Atlas, yes, good boy. Good.
So when you're ready to recall your dog, press your button so the tone sound is engaged, use the dog's name, and as soon as the dog turns towards you and starts recalling, that's when you turn the tone off. When your dog gets to you and completes the recall, you want to make sure you use your marker yes and either reward with praise or food to let him know that he did a good job and to keep him engaged.
Sit. Good. Atlas, yes. Good. Good boy.
After a little bit of practice and you feel comfortable, you can remove the long leash and start to practice off leash.
Good. Sit. Good. Atlas, yes. Good boy. Good boy. Let's go. Atlas, yes. Good boy. Good. Sit. Atlas! Atlas, come! Yay! Good boy! Good.
Now I'm going to start layering in the command come on top of the tone because I also want to work on my regular verbal recall because if my dog's e-collar isn't on and he can't hear that tone sound, I want to make sure that he will still recall for the word come.
Yes, good boy! Good job.
So for the second half of the exercise, I'm still using my tone, but I'm also using the command come.
Come. Yes, Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Freak. Come. Yes. Good boy.
Now he's learning that both the command come and that tone sound is used for recall, and that means that wherever he is, he has to stop what he's doing and come on back.
Come. Yes. Good boy. Good job.
Keep your sessions short to around 20 minutes per day, and remember to have fun.